Nelson Mandela, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, two African iconic freedom fighters whose selflessness and love for their people cannot be overemphasized. A good student of history will ask, is it the same spirit that existed in Nelson Mandela that is existing in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now? Anybody that is not a good student of history will ask, why will he mention Nnamdi Kanu in the same sentence with Nelson Mandela? But after this video, you will know the reason why. If you are fond of Igbo people, or you are a lover of Igbo people, please like, comment, and share this video. If we don't write our history, our enemies will rewrite it for us. Please share this video. That is the only thing you cannot do. Now, I'm going to give you the chronology of trials, persecution, and the quest for freedom of Nelson Mandela and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu without wasting much of your time. In 1964, Nelson Mandela made a speech that he is prepared to die for the democracy of South Africa. In 2016, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made a speech. He said he is ready to die for the freedom of his people. Now it's about to get interesting. In 1964, Nelson Mandela was sentenced to life imprisonment. In 2025, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was sentenced to life imprisonment. Now, in 1968, Nelson Mandela lost his mother and his elder son, and he was forbidden from attending their burial. In 2019, Nnamdi Kanu lost his parents.
Please share it,
and he was not allowed to attend their burial. Now, let's continue. In 1962, Nelson Mandela returned to South Africa through another African country, Botswana. In 2021, Nnamdi Kanu was brought back to Nigeria, or illegal rendition, through another African country, Kenya. In 1962, Nelson Mandela was sentenced for incitement. Are you listening? This Nelson Mandela you know as the hero of democracy was sentenced for incitement and leaving the country illegally. In 2025, Nnamdi Kanu was sentenced for incitement and leaving the country, or they say he jumped bail. They were sentenced for the two same reasons. It's about to get crazier. In 1964, Nelson Mandela was transferred. After being sentenced, he was transferred to Robben Island prison, one of the worst prisons in South Africa. In 2025, after being sentenced, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was transferred to Sokoto prison. Now, let's continue. In the year 1985, Nelson Mandela rejected President Boja's offer to release him if he renounced violence. But he refused to renounce violence. That was Nelson Mandela. Now, in 2016, from 2016 to 2024, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu rejected federal government's offer to be released if he renounced quest for freedom, agitation. Now, let's proceed. In the same 1985, I'm talking about Nelson Mandela now. Nelson Mandela, while in prison, was diagnosed of prostate while in prison and tuberculosis. While in prison, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was diagnosed of heart problem. Two of them was diagnosed of terminal diseases while in prison. Now, in 1962, Nelson Mandela fled the country to get support for his military wing. Nelson Mandela set up a military wing for his ANC. In 2017, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu fled the country, after which he set up a military wing, ESN, Eastern Security Network. Now, let's proceed. In 1987, Margaret Thatcher, the then UK Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher, labeled Mandela and his ANC a terrorist organization. Although after then, United States, the president, Ronald Reagan of United States, the then president, still labeled Nelson Mandela and his ANC as a terrorist organization. Okay, so you don't know that Mandela was labeled a terrorist organization. Now, in 2017, this is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now, the federal government proscribed IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu's IPOB, as a terrorist organization. So both Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Nelson Mandela were once in their life tagged terrorists, international terrorists. Now, in 1987, one UK British Parliament, something like Edward Taylor, a UK Parliament, member of the Parliament, made a statement that Mandela should be shot on sight. Mandela should be shot. In 2025, the prosecuting counsel, Adeboyega Awomolo, urged the courts to sentence Nnamdi Kanu to death. So a UK Parliament member of the Parliament urged for advice for Mandela to be shot. Nnamdi Kanu, the prosecuting counsel, urged the court to sentence Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment. Now, during around 1960, the apartheid regime then that Mandela ANC was fighting, the apartheid regime bans ANC. They banned ANC and FG proscribed IPOB. ANC peaceful protesters were killed. IPOB peaceful protesters were killed at Mpo, also one, and Okwa High School or thereabouts. Are you seeing the correlation? Now let's proceed. Like I told you, Mandela formed a military wing called Spear of the Nation. Nnamdi Kanu formed a military wing called Eastern Security Network. Now, have you seen the chronology of their agitation, the chronology of their trials and their persecution? They are almost like one spirit that existed in one body that is existing in another body. Share this video, like, comment, but share this video. If we don't write our history, our enemies will write it for us. Thank you.